Yo, everybody, it's Heat Overrod, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. Ooh, yeah! It's going to be a good one right here. I'm going to do a little bit of catching up, give you a little future tense. I'm going to talk about some things that I got coming up for you. Yeah, I've talked about a few of these things, but I wanted to put it all on an updated show together to kind of show all of you where I'm going. I can't wait to get there. It's definitely been an easy year, but it's also been as hard. Everything seems to be falling into place other than my knee injury, so that's things that are happening right now. I want to get right into that. So, DFS, I kind of burned myself out a little bit already. I played every slate for every day, a whole day long, for a very long time. I wrote almost everything up, and I had to take a little break. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later in the future as well, too. But things that have been happening, man, right around the house. I mean, I'm getting ready for the surgery May 20th. So, me and the fam, we just been slowly doing things all together. We all helped bring all the chairs up from the attic. I can't do a lot of walking or running or anything like that. So I've been working really hard towards that goal, getting better. I'm going at it like a madman, and I don't really know if anybody could really go at a knee injury more than me, other than maybe a football player or a basketball player, etc., etc., etc. Oh yeah! But the best part about this is that I feel like right now I'm at one of the biggest turning points in my life. It's really weird. You would think that would be back in the day, when Molly was born, being the last child, or going forward, marriage, that's your day that you change your life and things like that. But so many things happen throughout years and years and even decades. Me and Chrissy Ray, we're getting up on 2 decades of marriage here. That's crazy, right?
Hell yeah!
So that being said, I want to make sure that a lot of you know that in the past that we've always just had fun with this podcast. It was more like a comedy rant kind of show, bring the pain, you get it. But it was also, you all have to remember, being pain bringers or whatever you want to be, bring the pain is always about going to get what you want. You got to put your heart to it. Bring the pain, bring your heart, bring your guts, bring your sweat, bring your blood, bring your hands, bring your feet, bring your legs, bring everything. Oh yeah! That's how you get jacked up. Dig it?
Oh yeah!
So that's what this episode's about, a little bit, getting things like that, getting caught up and things like that. So, that's where we're going to go. DFS has been fun, though, and it's been really crazy. I want to bring up, I brought it up last time, but contests are really hard to find. A lot of the featured contests, which are your big money contests, have been kind of sporadic. You're not really finding them in the $1 to $10 games as much right now. You're literally finding them in the quarter games, 1 game slate, or $2, and you got a featured $15,000 payout. It's been hard. So I hope a lot of you DFS people have been looking for that as well. I've been playing a lot of 50-50s recently, just trying to maintain the money that I have right now that I've already won, and building from there. And as a slow build towards football, you get those big hits. I've already pulled some out, so now I want to get back to building back up for football, because I already had my wins. I'm good with that. That pays for the whole season. And then what I like to do is, after I get those hits, or first few weeks when a lot of the robots don't have their data, a lot of optimizers really can't go off of anything hardcore. Then again, what good's an optimizer? A lot of optimizers do have all the weather and hits and batter versus pressure, blah, blah, blah. And they're great tools. They are great tools. But at the same time, it's not going to always build you the craziest lineup. It's going to give you a 50-50. And you should be able to build a 50-50. And that's going to all be coming up soon. And I'm going to talk about that on the third one, on my third topic. So that being said, I want to get back into it. Life is just settled down. It's really nice. I'm really happy. I think I'm not stressed right now, even though being out of work does have you scared for the horizon. You get these stupid little papers in the mail, and then you got to fill them out, and you don't really know what the right or the wrong answer is. Sorry about that. And really, the right answer is just do what's in your heart. Just keep going forward. Fight everything. The work, the time, everybody will be there for you. And that's what I'm trying to get at right now, is that life could be so much harder. And right now, somebody could have my life, our life, and can be scared, so scared. And there's no reason to be scared. And that's what I'm going to bring up in the third segment, is where this all goes and how it started and how things just got this way, and it just was. So I do want all of you to make sure that you stay tuned on all my channels, my YouTube, my Twitch, my Patreon, Facebook pages of Bring the Pain or Married with DFS, Twitter page at Heat Override with just an O, not 2 zeros.
Brother.
That is because what I'm about to talk about isn't bad. It's not bad. I think that when you can talk about things, you come to not only a realization, but you come to a determination. You come down to a plan. You come down to a sight of what you see. And I'm going to talk about that. But let's get over to Twitch, okay? So on my Twitch, I go by Heat Override, not Bring the Pain. So on the Twitch, it is Heat 00 Override. And why I've been trying to get on Twitch a little more is because YouTube's really working. I had my boost of YouTube and everything, and people watch it, people don't watch it. This podcast will end up on there, and that's where a lot of things kind of get to it. But that being said, with things that are going to come up in the future that I'm going to talk about that are still not to be mentioned yet, that's going to be a big part of what's going on into the future. And that's why you all understand this in time. But what don't I do? I do podcasts. I do stupid little dances in the middle of the night and put them on my YouTube. I do a lot more of my gaming now on Twitch. And since I've been, getting a little more, I have more viewers now. I really never focused, like in the past year, I've literally focused on YouTube and Spreaker. Within the last year, all of those formats have gotten better as towards, monetization and sharing on different websites. Spreaker just started out where I could really only do it on YouTube. I could do it on Facebook, and I could do it on SoundCloud. And for some reason, SoundCloud would never link with my phone. So, of course, I had the computer, didn't really try it for a bit. Then I did. I just did it today. Linked. And then I saw that my Apple link was there. That wasn't there before. Things are changing. Times are changing. People want to get their content out there. Then that's what I'm going to do, is give you my content. Give you my content for DFS. Give you my betting content. Give you my video game, me playing video games. Give you my point of view. I'm giving you everything. And when you get to my Patreon is going to be for the pain bringers, of course. So you can get a lot of my episodes that, let's say, me and Chrissy Ray do at nighttime with a few beers and stuff like that, having a good time. That's going to be where those are going to be. And then on my social media and stuff like that, we'll definitely try to make sure that we keep everything down to a minimum and that, you get your good content. So, follow, share on my Patreon. Get on my Patreon and find me at Bring the Pain. Get on my YouTube and find Heat Override number 5. Get on my Twitch. Find Heat Override. You'll notice this things. Everything's going to be good. And that's what I'm going to get into, is talking to all of you about, if I go on Twitch, say I want to do a live Twitch and play some Diablo 2, I'll play Diablo 2. Maybe I want to jump on a new game I just purchased, Outriders. I'll go play that. And at the same time, I'll also play video games with my daughter, like the other day. Or I was in the chat at that point, but I did play later. I played Fortnite with her, which she loves playing. And that's part of gaming. That's part of gaming, is sometimes saying she doesn't want to play Diablo 2. She doesn't want to play like a Diablo 3. She doesn't want to play games that are slow or things like that. So waiting around and taking turns on Star Wars got old to her. Now she wants to play with her dad at times, but most of the time she's playing with her friends, mini Override. And that's where it all goes. That's what I'm trying to string together. So, talking about Twitch, and actually Twitch is really, it's a banging party. This is coming on a night where DJ Magic Mike is going to have his 5K hit on Twitch party tonight. Yo! It's going to be live. Everybody's going to be there. DJ Shallon, Club Unity, DJ Hype, Real Name J, all the people going to be there. I mean, Underground's going to be there. DJ Randall's going to be there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Chrissy Ray going to be there. And we're going to be there, and we're going to support our guy, because this is what's going on right now. It's a big part of Twitch that I have the followers that I have. I wouldn't even be anywhere near where I am on Twitch, because I was only at 3 or 4 because I didn't care. I wasn't onto the Twitch thing, right? I got on, I started doing things, I started linking things, did the same thing on my Facebook, put the little links up in my header so that you get that. I have the Legion of Pain, which includes, Greg Troyon, Leg Kabazinski. He's a great filmmaker. My boy Scotty, and he goes on Flying Casual. There's so much on there, so much content, Pot of Thunder, things like that you can all soak in, just if you don't feel like you want to hear me be crazy. Oh yeah! So you just want to talk Star Wars, and then you have Rebel Scum podcast for that as well. So there's all the plugs, there's all the good things I'm trying to get into there. But Twitch, out of nowhere, literally like one night, just hanging out with these people, shot up to 20. Then I kind of hung out like a little bit, popped a couple, raided a couple parties, and then boom, now I'm over 50. Now I've hit everything, because some of these people have come into my stream, some of these people are watching some of my things, so now I'm already past level 2. Now I'm working on level 3, which is working towards being promoted, working towards being able to have a sponsor, and that is all happening. And what's going to happen in the future is going to push all of this over. And I'm so excited to tell you all about it. I cannot wait. But for right now, I have to be quiet, and you can just take it whatever way you want to go, wherever you want to go with it. Just know that when it comes to media, I am well deep in quite a few plays in this world, but I have a really big one coming up, and all of you are going to love it.
Hell yeah!
Back to Twitch. So, yeah, now that I have all these things hit, I have all these other tools now. Now I can have VIPs. Now I can assign VIPs. Now I can do this. Now I can do that.
What?
Now I can do it with the Whipple Ball bat. So, my Twitch is on the run. And that's where we're going to keep the fun. And I want to make sure that I go live with all of you. So please tune in, check, like, follow, share. Because when the future hits, you're gonna be so thankful that you're along for the ride. And always remember that I will always remember who supported me from the beginning. I know who supports me. I know who talks to me. I know who doesn't talk down on me. I know the people who are that doesn't support me as well. Do know that. Do know that, people. And I don't mean that in any bad way. I'm just trying to say that I have a good memory. If you didn't believe in me when I was building my brand, then why should I believe you to believe in me when my brand is built?
Hell yeah!
That's all I got. That's all I got to say. And a big part of that has been DJ Magic Mike, has been these Twitch parties that have gone and allowed me to talk to so many different types of people. Chrissy Ray talking to so many different types of people that it's just awesome. It's great. I mean, right now, Mini Override's live on Twitch right now. Maybe after I'm done with this, I'm going to go grab my Switch and I'll pop in and you guys will see us tapping those noobs, those guys. Minnie, and then one of our other people that we go to karate with, that she plays a lot with, probably playing with right now, he was part of it. First time we really teamed up like that, boom, 4th place finish. And then you're going to say, well, that's not a first place. That's not, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be the best. You just have to bring the pain. And just give what you can. Give what you got. You will get first place. Sometimes you'll get 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 20th, 24th, 44th. It happens. You slip up. You don't see something. Things change. And that is why, Twitch is there. So all of you can see it. All of you can see my crazy Diablo runs. You can see how I didn't get any drops until finally a couple drops happened. And now I'm in the nightmare mode. You all see that. And that's what I'm hoping that all of you are excited to see and stay tuned for, because I'm going to do a lot of content. I've been doing a lot of content, and I hope all of you like it. And if you don't like it, say something. Tell me what you want me to talk about, because I have a Mega Man list coming out soon, top songs for that. And then I have a few other gaming ones I want to do. I want to do a Final Fantasy one, but I also want to do other podcasts too about sports and things like that coming up. So, if I want to talk about baseball, we have the NFL draft coming up. So we're going to talk NFL draft. Unfortunately, the Rams really don't have a first round pick, so that just sucks for my team. But again, day one doesn't even include us. So, but that's where you're going to find a lot of this stuff with Twitch, and I've been getting into StreamYard too. So StreamYard's going to be a big thing. That's actually what I'll get into at the end. So let's move along. I don't want to dwell on this case so long. I wanted to bring this up because this podcast has been pretty much positive, and that's the way I'm trying to keep a lot of the Bring the Pains. Although, don't get me wrong, when it's time for things that make me a jerk, it's time for things that make me a jerk. And then I have a few other things that people are working on right now. I'm actually redesigning my logo so I can get another shirt made. And when I get that shirt made, I'm gonna I want to put like the pain bringers on there somehow, but we're gonna get it done. It's gonna be great, and you are gonna be so happy. But let's talk about control. So why I'm in the place I am? Why do I think? How did I get here? How did I get to a busted knee and my last job just walking away from me because of what happened? So let's rewind. I loved my job. I loved my last job. It was really good. It was really fun. It's where I got to listen to a lot of podcasts, critique things, critique my podcast, listen to my podcast as well, and see what I could do to be better for all of you. Because I didn't go to journalism school or anything like that. I've just always kind of been well-spoken, and I can speak in front of people. It's just who I am, and that's what I do. So for what's easy for me is hard for other people. Well, about a few years ago, things were going great, and I lost my hearing one day. And this is no pity party. Do not give me pity. I do not want pity. Okay, but I had a small polyp. Well, it got bigger as it was growing. It was crazy, but it was behind my right ear. Well, that got found because my left ear lost its hearing. So that was kind of like a blessing in disguise. So I went and this is well documented on a lot of my podcasts, but a lot of my podcasts over the time and when I did them, I had feelings at that time because of the way I may have been being treated. So anyway, I get back to work and my right arm doesn't really work well because of all the muscles tied to my right side of the neck, and everything would always pull that. I also went back and my neck was still leaking.
What?
Like drizzling.
What?
Like ooze coming out of a ooze machine, huh? Yeah. And it was like I would just be in an account, all of a sudden, just all this stuff would just pouring down my neck. And I would grab coffee filters and hope to God nobody was in there. Because it was like a pinkish, orange, yellowish color. So it's kind of disgusting. But this is what I was doing. And you probably wonder, what the hell are you doing this? Well, I had to get back to work. They said I was supposed to be out for 2 weeks. It ended up being 3 weeks. And I had problems all the way till August. I went through one of my busiest days ever. 45 deliveries, $7,000 while going through all this. And just that's what bringing the pain means. So, I got to say that that's kind of where the cracks in the surface started. Because in the past, they were just used to me going, and I could go. I mean, I just said I had one of my best days ever. But the problem with that is it was really physically tolling on me because I was having to compensate the rest, more left arm because of the right arm. So as I got through all that, I was looking forward. I knew I had to get another test the following year to make sure nothing grew back and stuff like that. So my heart's open and I'm working hard. And during this time, everybody's kind of happy. Sales are good. So, you could say we hit a stride. Things are nice. But the reason why I bring this up is this is kind of where things started. When I was told that, and this is what people say, I was told that we did not have light duty at our job. And I'm like, well, this is one of those places you just got to force yourself back into. So I did. I forced myself back in. I probably need at least a week or two. I mean, I don't understand why the thing was leaking, but I didn't ask for remorse. I just asked that if I couldn't do my job that day, if it was really hard on me, give me a break. Just give me a break. I'll come to work. I come to work the next day. I don't call off. The only times I've been called off in the past 3 years is 1 for the ear surgery, 2 and I wasn't really called off, 2 for COVID, and we're going to get to that, and 3 for my knee. So I haven't had any, time off, because last year didn't count. We'll get to that, but so I go through this season, and I'm like, all right, it's cool. Things are going good, right? And then COVID hits. Boom. All of our accounts closed down. Most of them. We got no money. They got to lay me off. So I'm laid off. Fine. So that's where all these cool little gadgets I've talked about over the podcast come from, my computer and all the little fun little things. We just used it. We remodeled our house, painted things, did what we got to do. That's what we're doing with all this money that we did this year. Just supporting people, building Chrissy's business at Paparazzi, and also helping Bring the Pain push its next envelope into the next, the next level. Because I want all of you to know I'm going to the next level. I will not stop till I get there. So, that being said, I got back to work about a month and a half later, and sales were really bad. And I know I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I think everything's water's under the bridge now. It's just too late. It's too late. So I got back, and sales were bad for everywhere. Everywhere in this world has changed. And I was wearing a mask, and I wasn't really comfortable with that, because I'm like a guy that doesn't wear hats either. I don't have earrings. I don't like things on my skin. It's the way I am. I can't really explain it. I'm not OCD, but I have something there where it doesn't have to be my way, but it has to be accordance. So you can't just come up to me and wipe grease down my right side of my face. I'm not going to like that. Some people might just think of it as a joke. I'm not going to get mad, but I'm like, yo, what'd you do that for, bro? And that's kind of where it's the whole mask problem came from. And then things became really desperate. We were asked to do things that probably weren't legal. And we did the best we could. We went to a lot of accounts, went out of town. And, about this time, I'm seeing this. I'm like, you know what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Some people cared. That was fine. So then I just started going to Niagara Falls with my family every week. And when people would ask questions, even now they ask questions. That you were around somebody that had a vaccine recently? No. Because I ain't around nobody. So that's the best part. The other part is this exposed a lot of weaknesses in businesses, and it brought out a lot of weaknesses in businesses. And what ended up happening for a lot of places is some places closed, some places barely made it, places got the loan, some didn't. People are still having problems, struggling. Chrissy Rain, her job ain't even back yet. They're not even going to bring her back for the Seawolves because there's no reason to. It's limited crowd, it's limited this, it's not cool. And she hasn't even worked in over a year. Since the beginning of last March. And that's because sports entertainment has been killed in my city of Erie. And what can you do? What can you do? So that's why she went to Paparazzi. So she started her path when she understood she had to do something. Because unlike a lot of people that thought this was going to be a 2-week curve and a 2-month curve, and now it's over a year, we already knew the writing was on the wall. We had inside info, of course, and at the same time, just being connected to that sports industry with her, we had a lot of that information as well too. So we ended up popping out of that, getting into what we had to do, and then from there, that's what made her choose Paparazzi, because she wanted to do it before in the past, and she really loves the jewelry, so she did it. And she has been making so many people happy, beautiful. I went live yesterday. They all love me too. They love seeing me when I do a show. They love seeing our mini override when she's doing a show a little bit, maybe just a small fill-in. But for us, for me and Chrissy, especially Chrissy, This is a big boost for her. She has become so confident. It's great. And I think sometimes that she doesn't know how confident she is. And that's okay, because I don't think we all are. I think that's just a self-battle a lot of us have. But I think that that's where models like bring the pain. That's why you find something. That's why hers is bling you crazy. She wants to bling you crazy. She wants to make you beautiful. She wants to make you sparkle. She wants to bring smiles to your eyes. She wants your guy to look across that table on date night and be like, that's a nice piece. Where'd you get it from? My friend Chrissy Ray. That's what life is about. That's what we do. And we always support the local people. Right now, my buddy Len, he's putting together a movie called Pact of Vengeance. And this is shaping up to be one of his biggest films ever. And I mean, he's getting some great talent right now. So that being said, I want all of you to know that when you set your eyes to it, you hear it all the time. It's so cliched, but you really have to bring the pain. You really have to go forward with it. And like Chrissy Ray did. So during this time, we're getting all this stuff. Things are happening. Yeah, and the election's about to happen. Riots are happening. So at this point, everybody's fighting with each other. And I'm just kind of skating along, going to Niagara Falls and having a great time. And at that same time, I'm also living that time with my family. We're all doing it together. There's nothing. So you get about August, right? And this is where kind of like things have been different. So as I've been back, we weren't allowed in a lot of places. And then kind of we started going into places because I think they were forcing, in my opinion, that there was times I think, and I felt that I was forced into places. I don't think I should have been. Now people say, well, you have to do your job first. Well, that's great. But then if my job consists of infecting other people during this pandemic, then what do you do? Who's right? Who's wrong? So anyway, I did my job and things just built up and things got a little crazy and I just couldn't take the mask at times. Hot days, that was a hot summer, so many conflicting reports, but I'm out there in a 95-degree day having this wet mask on, I'm sweating, I'm tired, I need to breathe. Sorry, people, it's the way life goes. I'm a heavy breather. This has been well documented, so therefore, you should have not, if you did not hear it before, that's what it is now. So, but me and my family do believe in protecting others, so stores will wear the masks. We are not mean people. We will do what we need to, but then at home, car, walking outside, our masks are off. Do not approach us, please, and thank you.
Ooh, yeah!
So, that's when I got a small talk about masks at work. And then the next, same day, they said that it labeled me a certain way, a certain faction of people that were being labeled at that time. And that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And to be brought up to me first was a problem because that's my outside life. And that's where things started getting hazy and you kind of see where this is going. So you had the whole incidents with the ears and just some days and it just push and push. And then getting back and places is just desperate. Things are just going and I'm going above my call and duty. Do not think that I did not. I had never had a complaint at my job from any of my customers. Why? I'm a pleasant person. I'm a good person. And I always went all out for my customers. You can ask them all. Oh, yeah. At the same time, you don't know them, so that's all right. But at the same time, I had that talk. And around that same time, I found out that I wasn't really going to get any more time off for the rest of the year. So, all right. Well, that was a heartbreak because we had some things planned. And, we did go to Niagara Falls 8 times. One time to the Canadian side before the shutdown because, like I said, I had a little bit of inside info, so it went across the border really fast. Sue me. It's what we do.
Bring the pain!
But, hey, I had that info. And so we go back to it, and, football's, I'm done. I'm done with the election. I'm done with life. I'm done with everything. I'm done. I just start getting quiet. I start getting into football mode. I start loving football. And, man, wouldn't you know, I had some massive hits in the first few weeks. And I felt great. It really was just like that whole thing that just kept on going. And I was like, oh my God, man, this is so good. I'm so excited. And we planned so much so that I kind of just went easy the rest of the season, had another big hit. And then I was getting to the end of the seasons for a lot of my seasonal teams and I had some money on the line. Well, come right right before Christmas, I had to have another talk with me because Chrissy Gray recorded a video on her account, and then she shared it, which made it public, and it was me screaming about a couple $1,000 win, okay?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I was happy, man. So, yeah, I dropped some F-bombs, and Benny Snell scored that touchdown and catapulted me to thousands of dollars, both in DFS and seasonal, and betting, and that felt great. Because that's what you get when you get part of my Patreon. So while I'm building my Patreon, building my brand, building all these things, I'm going to take a quick back. Before my ear injury, that previous year, I was listening to a lot of books. Marcus Buckingham, Putting Your Strengths to Go, and the other book that he had, I'll think about it in a second. But yeah, it was just pretty much, I learned that you got to take hold of what you got to do. And not that I didn't know that before, but now you really got to do. You got to take hold. Now, mind you, during this summertime, too, of leading up to this, I was doing filming with Mini Override for Undercover Billionaire Comeback City with Glenn Stearns. So now after Marcus Buckingham, an ear injury, and then Corona hits within 1 year, about 3 weeks later after I'm back, boom, I'm into filming. And it's not much filming. I'm not the star of this at all. This was about our school, so let's get that straight. But I'm not going to say that at the time it gave me a little more exposure and allowed me to use things and get things set up. So what ended up happening is that led into those August moments and led into the things is I had to have a talk right before Christmas that my life was becoming too exuberant. It was becoming too bold for this company. This company is low-key. They want to be under the radar. They don't want to be noticed. So then, after that incident, too, with the video, we were told we're not allowed to cheer for sports outside of work. If any of our people had a problem with it, they were going to let us go. And that was going to be the rule taken, especially me. If they saw another video of me cheering about $1,000 win, I was going to be fired.
Bring the pain!
So, I didn't like that. I was a little angry about that. You know, and of course I've made podcasts, and I let out some of my frustrations on some of those podcasts. I always kept it clean. I thought I kept it clean. I'm pretty sure I kept it clean. Nobody ever really knew where I worked. And come a month and a half later, I hurt my knee. The minute I hurt my knee, they can't take it. It's just like before. You know, they thought I was going to be out 2 days, and I'm out weeks, months now. And it came to the end of the road. They said, you know, I looked at it. Before I got this from them, I got a message from a very, very dear friend, a very good friend, 10 plus years, a guy that I really had got me into DFS and made me want to be good like that. So now I'm like, here it is. This is what Marcus Buckingham was talking about. This is about putting your strengths to go and understanding that you are an amazing worker and that the problems that occurred at my job that led to this point couldn't have been controlled other than like Corona mania not happening. That would have been cool because then there wouldn't have been the layoffs. There wouldn't have been, you know, companies losing all this money, accounts. There wouldn't be all these problems. But what happened was it was all, everybody thought it was going to come back and that everything was going to just go back into fluctuation. And guess what? It never did. There's still to this day, accounts haven't even ordered, especially the entertainment accounts, because the entertainment accounts, they're not open. So I was putting my strengths to go. I went to school a long time ago for multimedia/graphics design, which is ultimately just me being able to write, talk to all of you. You see a lot of my posts and how articulate I am with my words and how I word my wording. Maybe it's not always the best. Maybe people don't understand it, but there's always a method to my madness. And that madness is what you're going to get in the future. And that's why I'm telling all of you to stay tuned. Because look what happened. There was nothing I could do to control this. You know, I didn't mean for my leg to get busted that day. I didn't mean for that. And I think that I would still have my job if that didn't happen. But it just didn't go that way. The minute the job found out that it was going to be a very long time, I was let go. I never got to tell them that I have something on the table that's something I've wanted done. That actually was probably one of the reasons that I got almost written up at that little Benny Snell $1,000 video that was taken. But I'm passionate about sports. I'm passionate about WWE. When I was asked, why do I cheer about sports? My response, as spoken on other podcasts, was, you know what? I don't know. I would have to say my dad. My dad raised me all about sports, all about WWF/E wrestling at that time, a little bit of WCW, NWA, and just exuberant personalities. Like my dad used to call himself Bulk Hogan. My dad used to call it Bulkamania. Then he would put me in the Cobra Clutch, or he would put me in the Claw. Everybody knows the Claw. My dad did a wrestling claw. There's a lot of people out there that knows the wrestling. The claw to the chest is funny. That was great. But y'all caught a couple of claws to the neck, and that hurt. That hurt. But he didn't mean to hurt me. It was just something as like what dads do. Because then after that, after all the pay-per-views, as I spoke about plenty of times before, me and my friends would just go wrestle outside on the side yard. Like 10 of us, 14 of us. So much fun. Why did we do that? In the middle of the night, after a WrestleMania, back in 1988 and 1998, why did we do that? It's because that's been part of my life. So I took a step back, and I think that that's what everything that's happening is happening for a reason for, is it allowed me to take a step back. If you don't like me for who I am, I can't change your opinion. I do try to be the best person I can be. I'm not always that person. That's why I have a skit called Things That Make Me a Jerk. Okay? When I turn into a jerk, I say things, and I say things on my heart, my mind, how I feel. When I say that I have a problem with something, I've said it to you. Now, you have to either address that or figure a way out around that. If you don't have if you're going to have a problem about it, and you're going to hold a grudge, then you're going to hold a grudge, and you're just going to keep pushing me until a point where I just go, hey, I have rights, blah, 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 and this is how I'm going to stand. I'm going to stand my ground. My mom didn't raise no fool. I said this a million times before. Of course, I do not have the size of my brother, so people do not always take me seriously, which I understand. I am a nice guy. I don't ask to be taken seriously. I am a guy with a smile, a happiness that a lot of people don't have in this world, even in darkness, even in when it seems like the world's around you, or just this whole days of things. I can't say it more than enough that that's who I am. And that's what you get on this podcast. And I hope you like it. And that's why I understand what happened. Was it wrong? Yes. I feel it's wrong on my side because I know what I put in all those years that I was there, the hard work, the people I made smiles, all this, saving people all the time. And it wasn't always the best situation to do it, but you know what? I always did it. I always did it. I always said yes. And that's the key. That's the key. And now I have this beautiful future planned out in front of me. It's going to be awesome. It's got something to do with a little more exposure online and a website. That's all I'm allowed to say. We were supposed to have it up running this week. And then a bigger deal, a better deal, a really nice deal, a really awesome deal from my buddy came through. And he's like, hey, let's just wait. Let's just get ready, and let's get ready to explode onto this market and show everybody what we got.
Ooh, yeah!
That doesn't happen, I feel, if the things that happened in life, starting at Marcus Buckingham, the trials and tribulations, all the problems that a lot of places had through the Coronamania, exposing, you can't do 50% of your sales and continuously pay people $20 an hour. You just can't. And that's reality, honestly, because once all these loans and everything stops and you're still doing that amount of business and nothing really opens up, that's where things happen. And that's why I'm where I'm at. It seems like it was like poetic justice in some ways. I feel that I wasn't supported outside of work because every problem that I ever had that was brought up to me, for the most part, had something to do with my outside life. Whether it be one car, not being able to dedicate a weekend when I do that. I do shopping for my father on Saturdays. When I do a lot of things for other people and being one of the few family members in Erie to actually do that, that's what I do. I help my family. The weekend's my time. The nighttime's my time. I can sit there. I can go to martial arts at TKO Erie, and I can hit the bags, and I can work with my family there and get stronger and faster. I can do all that. I can do football, and I don't need to be worried about anything else in life because I'm not worried about anything else. I'm doing the things that I love, the things that make me me. And that's what that talk before Christmas really hit me in the head. That all they wanted to do, and all that most jobs want to do, is just grind you to the bone. They want to grind you to the bone. And when you get to the bone, right, you're like, God, I did so much. It's been so long. They want to take that bone, and that bone gets dwindled down. And you're like, how much more can you take? How much more can you take? Like, it's not that it's not fair, but it's like a quote that I said, don't always show anyone or any place all of your cards from the go. Work it in. If you start out at a place at 100%, they're going to expect you running at 1,000% of the business in those years to come. If you just start out as just a hardworking employee, 60%, and you ease yourself to that 100, when you get past that 100%, you can call this the 100% rule. Once you get past that 100%, you'll notice that in the time by starting out by 100% and that you're expected to have 1,000%, you're really only around 200, 300% of your original work, which is still triple your goddamn work. So, that being said, I understand that. I understand that you have to push people and that most people do need pushed. And that if you don't push them, that's going to be, they'll just be lazy. But I'm not lazy. You don't have to push me. I'm one of those people. And the best part about all this is it's probably going to work out for everybody. Yeah, I'm a little worried about what's going to happen after the surgery. Yeah, I'm worried about all this other stuff I got to fill out before the surgery to make sure that my family's taken care of, to make sure that everything is done. And that's what doing everything a little day by day is going up to this point. I just hope everything goes together, and I think it will. And in the end, I can't wait till football season, and you'll see why. And that's why I want all of you to understand. Get to my YouTube. Get to my Patreon. Get to my Twitch. Get there. I will give you the content you want, and I swear I will hold back a lot of my explicit podcasts like I had in the past. I know that it was just fun, and and I do that, and you will get those on Patreon, but you have to pay for that, and by paying for that, you are agreeing to that. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. But that's where my future is going to go. And I hope that this helps some of you through a lot of hard work and dedication, that I understand that it didn't matter how hard I worked or how hard I pushed or how great I was or no complaints here or just work on this here. I found out that if they get a peep of your outside life, anybody, jobs or anybody, and they don't like it, that they'll turn your back on you. They would rather retrain somebody else than actually work it out with you. Because that's why turnover exists. Turnover exists in a lot of companies because that's what they do. And another thing too is, and this is a really good plot, and I'll throw this out here, a lot of companies just like have a 5-year rule. And the 5-year rule is after it's for 5 years, a lot of employees become comfortable, you shove them out because you're paying that employee a lot. It doesn't matter how good they do their job. For the next 5-10 years, you can have somebody that you're paying less. And that makes you money in the end as a business person. Hey, that's business 101, right? The more money you make, the more money you make. And unfortunately, you have to go through these turnover periods, and that's fine. But in all reality, all anybody is concerned about now is what you're doing online, what your outside life is about, or what your personal life. When you get hired for a job, and I don't care if you disagree with this comment, then I understand. That's fine. But when you get hired at a job, you're hiring the individual. If that person is an amazing person at that job, but he doesn't go like do crazy stuff that's going to end up in jail all the time. But if he's a great person, but he goes home to his family, does a little gambling online, that's legal in Pennsylvania, and just throws in a couple, $1, $2, $5 lineups, wins couple $100, and then him and his family are in Niagara Falls for a weekend. Respect that, man. Respect that. Do that yourself, because that's truly how you live life. You don't live life keeping that money and keep playing those games and feeding your addiction. You spread that wealth. You go, hey, if I won $1 million, you don't think I would help my family out? I would, and I would do it. That's the way almost anybody would, but there's a lot of people that wouldn't. There's a lot of greedy people in this world, and that's what it's about. I just want all of you to know that. I want all of you to know that the future is bright, and to jump on board now. Get onto that Twitch. Come on, give me follow. Come on, make the switch. That's what I'm saying, because there's going to be so much content. There's going to be so many good times. I'm going to have live streams going. Everybody can attend. Everybody can talk. We'll talk. I'll have live podcasts going as well. I mean, you could be in one of my podcasts. And that's another thing, too, is on my Painbringer level, which is, it's a great level, I do a contest where I can bring on one of my fans, my Painbringers, as a guest. I will do that. I will talk to you. I don't need to know who you are. I will just say hello, and we will go from there. And that's who I am as a person outside of work. I'm just a good person. I love supporting my karate dojo. I love supporting Master Arrington. I love what he means and how he gives back to the local city, Erie here, and how he looks out for that's why he keeps a lot of his prices low, because he's trying to get the kids off the street. He's just a good man. He wants to give back. He wants to be part of people's lives. He wants to see people succeed. And he knows my outside life. You don't think he's run across any of my podcasts? You don't think maybe Glenn Stearns might have? You don't think any of these people have? Anybody say anything to me? You know what they said? I'm the colorful guy. They respect that. They know that's who I am. And they're fine with that. And it should never be a reason to put somebody down. And that has happened in my life. But it's not happening anymore. Because now, I'm the boss. Just like Chrissy Ray. Maybe I'm not truly the boss. One thing I am boss of is where my life is headed. And the connections and all of the energy that I put into going forward. Going forward into a tournament for TKO Erie one day. And then going forward, sorry about that, someone came in. I hate when they come in on my podcast sometimes. Because it seems like every time somebody comes in on my podcast, they gotta make noise.
Hell
That's just me. That's family life, people. That's what you get from me. So, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay tuned. Always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah, everybody. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you later. Ooh, yeah. Yo, everybody, it's Yola Rider. So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!